Today, we're diving into the science of something huge, a health practice that spans the entire globe. We're talking about Ramadan fasting. Yeah, you heard that right. Over 1 billion people. It's a staggering number, right? A truly global phenomenon. But, beyond the spiritual side of it, there's some really amazing biology going on under the surface. So, what is really going on inside your body when you do that? When you skip food and water for hours at a time? Let's get into the science of it. Okay, so this all happens during Ramadan, the Islamic holy month. For about 30 days, people fast. No food, no water, from the time the sun comes up till it goes down. And it's this daily rhythm that puts the body into a really unique state and, well, that's what's got scientists so intrigued. Right, so to understand this, we need to talk about one key idea. It's called autophagy. It sounds complicated, but it basically means self-eating. The best way to think of it is like your body's built-in housekeeping service. When your cells get stressed out, say from fasting, they kick on this cleaning crew to get rid of old, junky parts and recycle them for energy. Pretty smart, right? And this is where it gets really cool. You can think of your cells as having two modes. When you're eating all the time, they're in growth mode, right? Just building, building, building. The cleanup switch is pretty much off. But the moment you start fasting, boom, the switch flips. Your cells hit pause on growth and go straight into cleanup mode. Time to take out the trash. So that's the theory. But how do we know fasting actually flips that switch? Well, researchers wanted to find out for sure. They got a group of 50 healthy people together during Ramadan and took a peek at what was happening with their genes. And what they found was pretty incredible. They saw a 2.30-fold jump in a gene called BECLIN-1. Now, why does that matter? Because BECLIN-1 is basically the key that turns on the whole autophagy engine. Seeing that gene light up like a Christmas tree in the fasting group was the smoking gun. It proved their bodies were in full-on cleanup mode. Okay, great. Our cells are cleaning house. So what? Why should we care about that for our health in the long run? Well, this is where it gets really exciting. Scientists are starting to think that this whole process, this autophagy, might be one of our best defenses against a ton of major diseases. We're talking cancer, diabetes, even things like Alzheimer's and heart disease. The idea is, by cleaning out all that cellular junk, you stop problems before they can even start. But that brings up a much trickier question, right? What about people who are already sick? Like, what about cancer patients who choose to fast for Ramadan? So another study looked into exactly that. They talked to 100 cancer patients, and what they found is that this is not some rare thing. Over half of them, 52%, actually chose to fast, either all the way through or partially. They're trying to balance their medical treatment with something that's deeply important to them spiritually. And that's a huge question for everyone involved. For the patients, for their doctors. How does this affect their quality of life when they're already going through so much? So they did a quality of life survey, and the results were not at all what you might think. Check this out. The biggest change they saw was in emotional well-being. It actually went up. It jumped from about a 67 to a 79, a huge improvement. And the researchers think this has a lot to do with the spiritual side of it. You know, that feeling of connection and purpose you get from taking part in something so meaningful. That sense of community. It seems to have a really powerful, positive effect on their mental state. But it's not the whole story. The picture's a little more complicated. While their emotional health got better, patients also said they felt a lot more tired. Their physical functioning actually went down a bit. So you see this trade-off happening, a boost for the spirit, but a real strain on the body. So what do we make of all this? The big takeaway is that fasting isn't some magic pill. It's more like a powerful switch. It tells your body, okay, stop worrying about growth and storing energy. It's time to focus on repair and cleanup. And you can really see the whole chain reaction here. Step 1, you start fasting. That makes your blood sugar and insulin drop. That drop is the signal. It's what tells your cells to flip that autophagy switch on. And that's when the deep clean really begins. And what's so wild is that all this brand new science is basically echoing something that's been said for centuries. There's a saying from the Prophet Muhammad, "Fast and you shall be healthy." It's just amazing to see that ancient wisdom lining up so perfectly with what we're discovering in labs today. Which kind of leaves you with this one big question, doesn't it? In our search for all these modern secrets to a long and healthy life, what if some of the best ones have been hiding in plain sight in these ancient traditions this whole time?